Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, yeah. Good morning. Good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific. We stream live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! The pick is in, and they got my guy Mazi. Ladies and gentlemen, is this a new day for your Dallas Cowboys? I think so. All right, let me kind of calm down. I told y'all there's going to be emotions. I get it. When the pick happens, whether you like it or you don't like it, you may act like I did. I snapped out. I loved it. I'm calmed down now. You may hate it, but have you calmed down now? I've calmed down. Sky, how do you feel about the pick now? No, sir, Bob, I have not calmed down. I absolutely love this pick, Dallas Cowboys Nation. And we're going to break this whole thing down from top to bottom. We're going to talk about the build up to the pick. We're going to talk about what it means for the team, obviously. And we're going to talk about why I think it's an A+ fit. Also, we'll look into day 2, which is tonight, right? We'll look into second round, third round possibilities that are still out there. Look, I know y'all want to call in. If you want to call in, you can. Get in where you can fit in. I'll probably lock the lines up a little earlier today. 351-999-3787. I want to hear your opinions on the pick. I try to get into the chat as much as I can as well. But boy, I am 100% satisfied. Also got to give kudos to the front office, and we'll talk about that here in the roundup. Not a particularly long roundup, mostly obviously about the pick and that damn smoke screen. Oh, that smoke screen smells so good, don't it? It smells so good, don't it? All right, look, I'm just jumping right into it because I want to talk about this draft. I want to chat to you guys, and yeah, I'm excited. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get to this roundup.
It's time. It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it.
You smell that? That smoke. That damn tight end smoke screen. Thank the football gods. The Cowboys were wise enough to not take a damn tight end in the first round. Oh, poor Jane Slater. Jane Slater, she be getting lied to all off season, man. She come out, she makes the video. You know, Luke Musgrave gets thrown around. Sam Laporta, they might reach for Sam Laporta. They gave all these insiders grasping for nuggets. They dropped them a bunch of breadcrumbs that led to absolutely nowhere. The tight end talk was clearly a smokescreen. How was it clear? They had every tight end but one, literally every tight end staring at them but one in the entire draft. They had the well-rounded guy, Michael Mayer. They had the freak, Darnell Washington. They had Luke Musgrave could be the pick, Daniel Jeremiah. They had they could reach for a Sam Laporta. But Stephen Jones told us last week, fortunately for us, it's a very deep class of tight ends. That was the dead giveaway right there. It already didn't make sense, but if you needed to make it make sense, I told you right there, it's a dead giveaway. They didn't say nothing about taking a tight end, but these media people were taking the breadcrumbs and allowing the smoke screen to happen. And I'm just almost as happy they didn't take a tight end as as happy as I am that they took Mazi Smith. So bravo, Dallas Cowboys. Bravo. So let's get into how this Mazi Smith pick happened. By the way, the first round was absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So as the pick is getting closer, we're getting a lot of names still on the board. Obviously, the Nolan Smiths of the world, right? The Mayers of the world, Murphys. The Breezes. There's so many players still on this board. And we were talking yesterday, Foots and I on the show. Could this be a potential trade back situation? Well, according to Pat Walker, the Chiefs did come calling. They came calling well before pick 26, by the way, and on pick 26, apparently. They came calling, trying to come up to take Mazi Smith. Very similar situation to last year with Tyler Smith. And ironically, the Titans this year took an offensive lineman. So he said, they did field a call from the Chiefs potentially to move down to 31, but it was nixed when Kansas City said they were moving up for Mazi Smith. Andy Reid wanted him. Mike McCarthy got him. So in the war room, if you look at the the tape or whatever, the live stream, however you want to call it, there was a debate going on. And we were kind of like, I wonder what's happening here. What is the debate about? Well, it comes out that the debate was between two defenders. Broadus came out and said it wasn't a tight end. I reached down to see what was going on down there with that. And I was told, quote, it came down to Mazi Smith and Brian Breezy. I love Mazi's fit here more. I like Mazi, the player in general. I like Mazi's fit here more because he's going to play on that interior and he can do I think he could be a two-way go type player. Now we'll get into the whole, well, Sky, he didn't attack the quarterback. I look at Breezy as more of a 5-tech type guy. He'd probably be a better 3-tech here in Dallas than maybe what you have. But I think Mazi's ceiling is higher in my opinion. I know he doesn't have the production, but we'll get to in my, not just my opinion, but why his style of play and his production looks the way it looks. I mean, I think it's very evident on film. But you got the best run-stopping defensive tackle in a draft that has a through-the-roof type of ceiling that's untapped because of the way he was used in Michigan. So I love the fact that they went with him. When we first started breaking him down last month, y'all know how I felt about him. I didn't care if they took him at 26. A lot of people were very bullish on not taking him at 26. I just see him as being a dude like that. And the more and more I just studied around the league, the more and more I looked at these type of defensive tackles, you have to get them in day 1 or day 2 in the first or second round for the most part. I don't think he would have been there at 58. Clearly, Kansas City was looking to come up and get him. So we talk about the Arik Armsteads. We talk about the Chris Joneses, the Allens, the Paynes, the Lawrences, the Justin Simmons, Quentin Williams, DeForest Buckner, Vita Vea, Dalvin Thomason. I go on and on and on. There's so many impact defensive tackles that most of them are taken in the first or second round. That's why I wanted to take him in the first or second round. Preferably, I didn't want to risk it if it didn't happen, because I don't think you were getting a Mazi Smith after day 2. If you wanted to say, hey, I get a trash can full of dirt, we'll throw another Bohanna out there. We'll go get a Hicks, right? We'll keep just throwing Band-Aids at this situation. Cool. I think there's more to it. I think there's more to a Mazi Smith, man. And we'll listen to our guy, Will McClay, actually break it down. But in Mazi, you're getting a powerful guy, a strong-handed guy that has stupid athleticism for his size. You're getting a guy who he may be 330 plus or play at 330 plus, but the dude moves like a cat. He's got cat-like quickness for a guy that size. The knock that he's going to get is that his production, right, and his play style. What is my mantra, though? Context matters. And I thought it was very, very easy to see on film. But my guy, Jonathan Owning, he broke it down extremely well. Go check out that article if you want to go look at the article. If you want to see more video footage breakdown, go check out Okoye's breakdown. But this is what my man, John Owning, said in his article. Many will lament Smith's delayed get-off as a reason to deflate his draft stock. But that ignores the fact that Smith was playing a read and react role as a head-up defender on majority of his snaps. Instead of firing out off the ball, penetrating the gap as a shaded defender, he was tasked with mirroring and controlling box to help Michigan fit all the necessary gaps while playing with light boxes. And in doing so, he was 6th in the nation in run stops. Put Smith in Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn's scheme, and Michigan's defensive tackles' athleticism will enable him to shine, end quote. Now, if you don't believe J.O., if you don't believe, what I'm saying, what about Will McClay? What about Will McClay? Let's see if you believe Will McClay.
We've said up here, Mike's talked when he's come in here. He's talked about building a bigger, stronger, faster football team. We've continued to do that. And when you look at Mazi, you haven't got teams run the football now. As you see things change and you look at our division, a guy that can stop that, a guy that can add that value to our defense, as well as I think there's ability for him to be able to rush the passer. You watch the Michigan tape, he's playing the flat stance, doesn't get after the passer. Well, you change things up, you put him with Dan and AD, and within our defense, not only can he stop the run, but we feel like there's upside in rushing the passer as well, and being a disruptive force.
Being a disruptor for us. I agree, Will. I agree. And look, man, if it's one team, if it's one personnel guy to absolutely have trust in, it's that man. They're not making this pick without his blessing. They're not making this pick without Dan Quinn's blessing and AD's blessing in the sense of, hey, can we get more than just a run guy from him? Which, by the way, if that's all you got, he'd be a fantastic guy. But I think there's more to it. And we talked about that last month. We talked about that last night. And Will McClay and others brought it up as well. Don't just box score watch that guy. You truly have to watch the film. You truly have to understand the context and the style of play that Michigan was using him in, and how that's going to be different here in Dallas. And what's the beauty of Mazi is he can do the head up 2-gap stuff if you want to, get your linebackers to come down that we see Hankins do from time to time. But he also can play next to Hankins and get upfield and run the stunts better than a Bohannon. Bohannon can't do those type of stunts. He just kind of got to clear it out type situation. He can use his athleticism. You needed a dude, man, on the interior. I love Osa, but he'd be more of a dude as a pass rusher. I think Mazi can be one of those dudes as a dual threat. He can be he's already a fantastic run. You're getting an immediate impact run defender now, right this second. But because of his athleticism and because of his environment, meaning who's around him on the field and who's coaching him off of it, there is an untapped potential with this guy, and that's why I believe he one of them ones, Cowboys Nation. So, Mazi Smith, man, fantastic pick by the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get into day 2 stuff here in a second, but let's talk to some of the fans here on the horn. Lamont was first up. Let's highlight Lamont. What's good, brother?
What's good, bro? What's good?
How you feeling, man?
I feel good, bro. You remember yesterday I called, I said, bro, which position would you rather take? I was like, man, I don't know. I'd rather take the defense, bro. And we got Mazi. Boy, I ain't even gonna lie, I almost broke my hand. How many times I punched my hand? I was so hyped.
You see my reaction on air?
Yeah, I saw your reaction. I was like, "Oh shoot, God, don't have a heart attack now. You know you kind of old now."
We got him, man. We got him.
Yeah, I honestly think that he's going to be such a good player. And I know some people were like, "Oh, well, they had Nolan Smith. Why didn't they take Nolan?"
Fair.
I think they didn't take Nolan because Nolan doesn't help stop what was going on in the middle. That's plain, flat out simple. When you have Nelva Gallimore getting blown off the ball, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This man.
I think they also was like, look, man, we got Sam, and the Nolan thing is the same thing as McDonald. Yesterday we were talking about, look, if they don't take a McDonald, in this case a Nolan, I'm not freaking out because they probably like, look, we got Sam Williams. We got Micah Parsons. We got this, we got that. But my rebuttal to that was, well, next year you won't have the depth, et cetera, et cetera. So I was trying to say, look, if they take a Will McDonald, understand, or if they take a Nolan, understand. But Mazi not only fits a need, but he's a stud too. So I don't think this is a situation where it's like, oh man, we're jumping for Steve Avila in the first round because we're taking need over one of the best players. I think Mazi, that's why I had him as I would take him in the first round. I think he is one of the best players, at least at his position. That's for damn sure.
Yep, and one thing I can't wait to see is when we play Philadelphia, I can't wait to see what Mazi goes against Kelsey. Because I know Kelsey's more of a technician, but I wonder what he's going to do when he sees big Mazi going to hover over him.
That'd be a fun matchup. But Kelsey is battle tested, Kelsey's battle tested. It'll be fun.
Yeah, he is. But so since your boy Will McDonald gone, it leaves room for my boy Isaiah Foskey. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, you are a Foskey guy. I don't think they're going to take a defensive end in the second round. I think it would have had to been in the first round, but they had a chance to take Foskey. They passed on him for a defensive tackle, my guy.
I know they did, but I was just being funny with that one. But in all reality, I hope they get that big boy out of Minnesota. I forgot what his name is, the offensive lineman.
John Michael Schmitz.
He's got the one with 3 names. I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna let you do that.
They all on the board.
I think that should be the next pick.
They all on the board. You got no offensive guards were taken in the first round. So as we currently speak, they're sitting pretty, man.
Yeah. So I would like to see them move. I'd like to see them stay put and see who falls to them. And if they can get one of those good guards, they're going to get them. Take them. That was going to be perfect in my eyes. I think you'll have one sitting there for you. So,
Indeed.
All right, bro. I'm not going to hold you up.
All right,
I
yeah,
know
I'm about
other
to.
people want
The conference has been locked.
Yeah, we gonna get through these things. Nick, make sure you remind me too. Appreciate you, Mont. Yeah, man. They decided to go that route, Lamont. Let's get our good brother from Reading on the horn. What's good, man?
Hey, good morning, and God bless you and the family, and your boy Ross and his family and the show. I'm gonna tell you right now, that was the excellent pick because you know who I think, you know who he reminds me of. I'm not saying that he's him, but you remember that one tackle that the New England Patriots had that he was really athletic. Cox, I think was his name. That he played defensive tackle. When Tom Brady ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Richard Seymour?
I think
he was kind of more of a 5 tech.
I think it was number 6. The one that he played the
Vince
middle.
Wilfork?
That he played basketball. Yeah, he reminds me of him. I mean, and what I'm saying is his ability to move the man and get through quick. Like, because I noticed that the blockers, they can't hold them. He knows how to shed them pretty good. He knows how to shed them good.
Yeah, he got some
like
powerful,
he knows how to move off
powerful hands. I wouldn't comp him to Wilfork, but I mean, as a nose tackle, he'll be a handful like Wilfork for sure.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm not comparing it to him. I mean, but I'm just saying that he got sort of reminds me of him. I'm not saying that he's him, but he sort of reminds me of him.
Gotcha.
But I think that was a good pick. I really do. And I think with Dan Quinn, the way Dan Quinn, you know, he masterminds things. Oh, he's going to put up a hell of a season. I think he's going to really help that defense.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I think he'll be an impact player.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for today. And God bless you. Keep up the show like you always do. And I always check you out. Sometimes I don't call, but I always check you out and always give you that like, my brother.
I know, my man. I appreciate the support, good brother. Thanks.
All right.
He's definitely going to help out the second level too, man. That's why when I was excited about him, talking about him last month, it was a trickle down type of situation. You know, like he's not only going to help cause those accidents in the backfield, because I think he's going to be more penetrating here, and we're more of a stunt team. Hopefully that kind of simmers down a little bit, but Dan is going to allow him to attack upfield more than Michigan did, at the very least. And one of the things that's very underrated about why he wasn't getting upfield the way he's getting upfield, and they talked about it a lot, was the stance. You heard John Only talk about it. You heard Will McClay talk about it. Something so small like that can affect how to get off. It can affect you getting upfield. Because I remember Marv used to call in and say, well, Benton, get upfield, Benton. But they're not playing the same style. Yeah, Benton get upfield because he's charging upfield. Don't get it twisted. This dude is a freak when it comes to athleticism, especially at his playing weight of 330 plus. So for those who complained about, hey man, we need to get better run defense. The Cowboys were 21st in yards before contact last year, 28th in run stop win rate. Now they went out and they got Hankins, but he's not the future, and you needed more help. Hankins couldn't be the only guy, because when Hankins went down, you saw what happened. You got that guy, but I still see people are kind of complaining here. So, for those who don't like the pick, let's talk about it. And Danny Savage is one of them.
No,
Danny. No, Danny. You came in the comments immediately. Immediately. Y'all should have seen him last night, bro. Came to the comments. He wrote 3 to 17 different paragraphs about how, oh man, Dan Quinn gonna be the head coach now. We ain't gonna get this now. The draft is over after the first round pick. Danny, explain yourself, sir.
Okay. After I calmed down and looked at it as the bigger picture, we said from day one, we have to build the defense around Micah.
Yeah.
We said that from day one.
And your boy was hyped.
It's a definitely Micah-friendly pick, 100%. You know what I'm trying to say? We know what we're getting with him. He's a run stopper, 100%. My only thing was, like, Nolan Smith was still hanging around there. And now basically how Taco is compared to Watt, basically we're going to be comparing Mazi to Baris or Nolan. Now, like I told you, I'm just a
Bro,
nobody. I don't have.
You can compare all players to who's around them every year. You're using Taco because the Michigan thing and the pass rusher guy on the board. That's all that is, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I just think Baris has a higher upside, but Baris is not a Dan Quinn type of defensive lineman,
right?
Just in my opinion. But I thought over time,
well, I don't think he has higher upside.
Turned into even a third or a first. But looking back at it, it's going to help out Micah. I just wish we would have started building this defense around Micah a little bit earlier and waited to now. But no, it definitely helps. It definitely helps to run. It's just my thing for the next two tonight, second and third. I mean, Eagles D-line, they got 4 gangsters.
Yeah.
4 gangsters, just the D-tackle. The Redskins, they still got Deron Payne. And Chase Young's going to be playing for a contract. The Giants, as bad as we think they are, they got a solid D-line. All I'm trying to say is I just hope tonight we go O-line, or just give me an O-line and a running back tonight.
I think you'll get it.
Just be happy there.
I'll be shocked if you don't get O-line today. No guards were taken in the first round. None. So unless there's a crazy run on offensive lineman, you should have a pick. You should have a solid guy sitting there for you at pick 58. But for a guy who all offseason, I remember all the chats, defense, run defense. It was very interesting how kind of down you were on that pick last night. That's what I'm saying.
No, that was last night. But then after I sat back and thought about it, us getting gashed for 2 years. It makes sense. 100% it makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say? So, like I said, after you take emotions out of everything, you know what I'm trying to say? But the only thing that I was pissed about is for Jerry to say that he was the 14th rated best player on their board is comical.
Hey, look, we laughed at Jerry last year when they said that Tyler Smith was the 13th rated guy. And guess what? He was a top 10 player last year in that draft. So again, this is a team in the first round, 9 out of the last 10 years, 8 out of the last 9 years. They have hit.
That's it.
I cannot knock them. And look, until Mazi Smith proves you right or them wrong or whatever. He said 14. He said Tyler was 13. I'm falling back until proven otherwise.
Listen, I'm landing a plane and I'm out. I'm just going to ask you one question. I don't know the answer. When did Will McClay come to Dallas and be our guy and was running our drafts?
2014.
And I'm out. 2014.
Yep.
Makes sense. No problem. Loved your content last night. We'll be listening all show and we'll be listening tonight again. Great job. You and Foots and Botch.
Salute.
Talk to you later.
Jerry said, man, look.
Man, who gives a shit?
I don't care if you don't like this damn pick. You don't think he's 14?
Man, who gives a shit?
That was hilarious, by the way. That 100% is my new drop. Especially if we get a dub and y'all come in here whining and back.
Man, who gives a shit?
Next. Jerry had me cracking up yesterday. If you missed it, go watch the draft day presser, man. They explained the whole situation of Mazi. And I'll play it again later for those who might have came in late. Will McClay laid it all out there for you, man. High ceiling here. Let's see. We got 205 on the horn. What's goody?
Grand Rising Skywalker.
What's up?
What's going on with you, man? I see we got our Jay Ratliff now, man. So some kind of way it'll be great if we can slide old Colonel Drew Sanders in there and make the defense all ready to go.
Hey, man, I will be elated if he has the impact that Jay Ratliff had.
Yes, sir. I think we need to grab in probably one of them, John Michael Smith, one of them good guards. And if we can get Drew Sanders or Johnny Domingo, I think we're ready to go, bro.
Round 3, I'm really targeting the guards in round 2. If not, then hopefully we can come back. But I'm going to read some of these names off in a second here when we get off the phone. Appreciate you calling in, man.
For sure.
Let's take a look at some of these names still on the board. Guard-wise, I mean, you can put Schmitz here as center. So all of them, right? Avia is still there. Torrance, Zavala is still there. Bradford is still there. John Michael Schmitz is still on the board. Obviously, Antonio Mafi is still there. McClendon Curtis, there's still people or players here. Now let's go to centers because some of those guys can move in. Joe Tippmann is obviously still there. Schmitz, Scruggs, Weipler, and where's my man from Michigan? There go the Michigan kid. There are plenty of interior guys here and on day 2 that the Cowboys could be targeting here that I think could come in and play today. Now, the further down you get from that list, the less likely that could be. But hell, and then look, somebody just dropped. They dropped Darnell Wright. Tight ends. If you want to go tight ends, obviously Mayer's still there. Washington still there. Musgrave, Laporte, all of them except Kincaid, Tucker Craft, Schoonmaker, Kuntz. All these guys are still available. I don't even see my guy from Cincy on here, but he's Josh Wiley. There he goes. It's so many players here in round 2. I'm good. I'm chilling. Now, if things start to get weird, right? Matthew Bergeron, I didn't even bring him up. He's still on the board. We go look at the tackles. Bergeron, Cody Mount, DeJuan Jones, but I don't think you're taking DeJuan Jones to play guard. Dude's 6'12". Steen, they talk about a lot, is still there. You're going to have a guy, Cowboys Nation. You're going to have a guy at 58 offensively, from an offensive line standpoint, I think you can take and be satisfied with. So I wouldn't panic, but if something weird happens where who was it? Whose mock draft did we do? Dane Brugler. Where Dane Brugler kind of was wiping us out of those second round offensive linemen. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe you think about it, but I think Dallas played it right last night, and I think they're playing it right. They could potentially play it right tonight by just chilling and let one of those guys fall to you and take them. So yeah, last night, I'm not about to sit here and give too much shout outs to the Eagles, but yeah, getting Jalen Carter, that was really the big one for me, was Jalen Carter. Because them taking a pass rusher, I think they got their guys and they signed up for big contracts, but nonetheless, getting Jalen Carter pissed me off. Not gonna lie to you. Getting Jalen Carter pissed me off. Putting him next to Davis and Fletcher Cox and all those guys, very, very frustrating. Iceberg Slim said he pissed off at the Buffalo Bills for taking Dalton Kincaid. Well, you know how I feel, Iceberg Slim. I didn't care for a tight end, but that was your guy, so I get it. When your guy goes to another team right before you, I feel you. I know your pain, dog. I know your pain. All right, let's get Twan from C. We got 2 Twans on the phone. Twan from Connecticut. What's good, man?
Sky, man, I've been waiting patiently for you to take me off mute, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Is that a good waiting patiently, or are you pissed off right now?
Nah, man, I'm pissed off, bro. I ain't even gonna lie.
Why you pissed off?
I'm not happy at all because we spoke about it about a month ago, and I remember saying you like Mazi. I remember telling you I wasn't a fan of Mazi.
Okay.
He's just strong, Sky. He's just strong and athletic. For you not to give no sacks and you to be just a run shot stopper, and after what the Eagles are monsters now. That's clear. Like these motherfuckers are the monsters at the front seven.
Hey, man.
Honestly now.
I mean, look, that's what happens when you got a front office that knows how to will and deal with their picks. But what's that got to do with the Mazi pick though?
Man, we need protection or we need a weapon. Fuck a Mazi, guy.
All right,
he got short arms.
No, he don't. He got 33.5 inch. Let me ask you a question. What is the draft over?
No, it's not over.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought the draft was over, Playboy. The way you was talking to me, I'm like, damn, the draft over? All right, just checking with you, man. Go ahead.
No, but it's we could have went somewhere else. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like,
okay.
I honestly felt like
so
Twan.
Twan, where?
What's up? Man, somewhere else.
What? No, seriously. Where? So we can talk about it.
A guard. A guard, honestly. A guard.
All the guards are available in second round. You know that? Not a single guard got taken. And 1, 2, 3 of the top remaining tackles are still available too. So they can push the guards down. What if I told you there are a ton of options left in day 2?
I feel a little better. Honestly, I do. Okay. I do feel a little better. And the only reason why I feel better is because, okay, one, they're there. You feel me? It's still option there to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas with drafting dudes named Smith, honestly, are always good. But I just wasn't high on.
I didn't think about that. But that's true.
I also would have rather took Nolan Smith.
Look, I'm not going to argue about people wanting to take. I'm a huge fan of Nolan Smith, but if we're talking BPA of position of need, this obviously made the most sense as opposed to Nolan. But let me ask you why, because that's another question I want to ask the people that call in that say stuff like I'm not a fan of Mazi. You're not a fan of his game, but so why?
His production.
Okay.
His production.
So do you watch him though? Do you watch the film or are you just looking at the box score?
I watch film. I watch a little bit of film because I remember you telling me you liked him and I trust you, Foot and all that, so I went to go look at him. But that was the same time I'm telling you I'd rather get a receiver or a weapon as well. But so it's just like production wise I don't see it.
So, but when I ask you what you don't like about his game, you said production. That's not the film. Because the film will tell you that the context is there. The context tells you about the production. He's not asked to be production guy. He's asked to be 2-gap, hold it up, read and react, not get to the backfield. I'm not trying to get you to pass rush. That's not his game at Michigan. And Will McClay, right, the guy who is one of the best drafting, personnel guys in the league, he came out and told you, hey, look, man. There's a ceiling, there's an upside to him that we think we can tap because we're going to use him differently than the way they used him at Michigan. Very similar to Sam Williams and how they were using him inside, but they said, no, he can be a menace as a pure, stand-up guy or edge rusher. But so when you say production, that doesn't really scream film to me. That just screams, hey, he didn't get sacks. But why didn't he get sacks? And if you can understand the why, I think you can find a little bit of positive out of the dude's game because I think he has game.
I'm more so finding positive out his last name being Smith, and we always hit on drafting.
Hey dog, that's crazy, bro.
and that's where it's at. To be honest, that's like I trust us as a drafting team, but honestly, I didn't want him first round. I honestly didn't.
A lot of people didn't. A lot of people did not want Mazi Smith in the first round. So I don't think you're alone on that one. But the whole, hey man, his last name Smith, dog. So I'm good. He gonna be smooth. That's wild.
Yeah, but a part of it feels like Taco Charlton 2.0. I'm not even gonna lie.
I wish he didn't go to Michigan.
I'm a little worried about that.
I wish he didn't go to Michigan. This Taco Charlton thing. In what world are they similar?
I'm not saying they're similar. I'm saying it kind of feel like that. I'm not saying they're similar at all. But for some reason in the air, it feel like that.
Okay.
They do to me.
All right. Well, the beauty of this whole thing is we got a few more months to speculate, and then he'll put them pads on. I guarantee you, as soon as you see that pop, that first hit, you're gonna light up.
Nah, we're gonna see. Good call, Scott. Good call.
Appreciate you, Twan.
Peace.
I feel like, boy, I'm gonna be fighting this fight, man. I'm gonna be fighting this fight of Mazi and the production, and it's probably not gonna get answered maybe until preseason. Maybe can't because the videos come out and people get excited about videos, right? But I'm just saying. I put some of the tape here, but we can go look at full games, right? Vach has a film breakdown. We'll get a Koye Law. Everybody's gonna put out tape. Do yourself a favor and go watch it yourself, right? Whether it be broadcast view or not. Broadcast view is kind of tougher to kind of see though, but just don't take my word for it. If you don't want to take Will McClay's word for it, if you don't want to take John Oning's word for it, go watch And if you can find a way to understand how he was used and look at those traits and look at he said he's nothing but power. The dude is more than that. Then he said athleticism. Yeah, power and athleticism. That's a crazy duo. Not many people can combine those things. But just watch. Take off he ain't the guy I wanted, right? And then come back and let me know how you feel. Because I promise you, there's things within his tape that can get you excited for what he could potentially be. Maybe it's a position value. Maybe people don't like the position value. They don't like defensive tackles. But I read off a ton of impact defensive tackles. We look at the Super Bowls over the last few years. DJ Reader, the Chris Joneses, all the damn defensive tackles for the Eagles. Right? Aaron Donald, Ashawn Robinson. But you know what I mean? These are impact defensive tackles. Look at within your division. It's very interesting how I think Twan just talked about it. Danny talked about it. Man, look who Washington got. Look who Dexter Lawrence in New York. Look who the Eagles are doing. Well, your Cowboys done joined the party. Your Cowboys have joined the party of getting one of them studs on the interior to affect not just the runner, but potentially the quarterback as well. So it's laid out there if you could get past the whole he wasn't productive thing. He was productive in what he was asked to do. The numbers for a nose tackle aren't going to scream pass rush guy. His responsibilities aren't going to scream, oh man, 10 sacks. I ain't saying even Ndamukong Suh, but the dude has a ridiculous upside. That's all. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'm going to trust these guys because 9 out of the last 8 or 10 picks have been hits. A lot of super chats are rolling in. So let me get to those super chats and then we'll keep going through these phone lines here. We got Brian from the Cochran Firm calling in too as well. All right, we're going to just roll through these real quick. Man, there's a ton. Towboat dropped one early, said happy with the pick. Micah got his wish. Let's effing go. We don't wipe them 304s. Chris said, bro, we got an insane traits guy under the best coordinator when it comes to a player development. Second round looks great for us. Facts. Appreciate you, Chris. I mean, I don't feel right if I don't press a button. So.
Super chat.
Andrew A. We need to trade up and get offensive line in the second, Sky. If it starts getting funny, that's something to consider. But there's a whole lot of guys still sitting there. No offensive guards went in the first round. So that helps you because all those dudes are getting pushed down. So I think be patient a little bit and let's see what happens here.
Super chat.
Aaron dropped one. He said, I like their process even more than the pick. He's solid, but the fact they actually didn't telegraph their pick and let a smoke screen is refreshing. So their first round picks, I mean, they've been hitting the first round. So even if they took one of them damn tight ends, I would have been frustrated, but I'm like, I got to give y'all the benefit of the doubt.
Super chat.
Mr. Stewart dropped one and said, what's your take on Darnell Washington? Darnell Washington, athletic freak, blocker guy. I think he'd have to come in and be a tight end too. I don't think he's nuanced enough to take responsibilities of all the tight end one stuff right away. I think Jake Ferguson's the better receiving guy right now, but you would hope he can develop into a guy you can push Jake Ferguson out the way for at some point. But I like Darnell Washington. I like him better in round 2 than I like him in round 1 though.
Super chat.
Towboat Ty dropped another and said the Eagles might be the Monstars, but in the end, the Toon Squad got the dub. Come on, man. Come on. Micah is Bugs Bunny, and he went and got his Michael Jordan. Towboat be spitting. Look, man, they definitely the Georgia of the East. They definitely grabbed a bunch of goons. But we whooped their ass at home. So you know what I'm saying? We whooped their ass at home with a dude who came in at Christmas. So all right, man. And then Ryan dropped. Oh, there's a whole bunch more. Ryan dropped one.
Super chat.
Ryan said, we don't need sacks from Mazi. He'll stuff the run, free up the linebackers to prevent the quarterback from stepping up in the pocket, giving the edge more sacks. Yep.
Super chat.
Brandon C. Attitude Era Mark Henry is now in the building. Welcome. If y'all don't remember, a lot of y'all are new. Last year, we had a name for the draft last year, and we called it the Attitude Era, right? We said that Micah Parsons was kind of stone cold. He kicked off the Attitude Era. And then the Cowboys went out and got Tyler Smith. He has that attitude. Sam Williams, he has that attitude. They are kind of changing the attitude of this defense and this offense in general. Mazi, Mark Henry, love it. Great comparison. My guy L drop on.
Super chat.
Breaking news: the draft's officially over. The season's over. Teams play the season in multi-universe or the multiverse, and voted on the Super Bowl champion. News at 11. Yeah, man. L. Everyone freaking out as if the draft is over after round 1 is crazy, but we predicted that. We knew that was going to happen, so it's not really that shocking to me.
Super chat.
Spot, can you save me? Drop one said Mazi did an interview on 105 through the Fan last night, and he specifically said he was told not to pass rush. I mean, hey Spot, can you do me a favor? Can you send me the link? Can you send me the link? He said he does exactly what he's told. Relax. All right. So for those who are, well, where is the he's telling you. They didn't tell me to pass rush. That's all. Eternal Dynasty drop
Super
one.
Chat.
Just listen to Mazi speak. He sounds like a dog. Mazi had a quote yesterday. He said, man, I'm just a big dude. I came out the womb like I was doing push-ups inside. I love this kid. All right, man, let's keep it moving. 518. What it is, what it do.
What is it?
518, you live?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Oh, 518. I mean, you still here?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh yeah. How you doing? Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I'm so excited still. Oh, I feel so great. Oh, I love that pick. I love it. I think that's the best move that we made in so long. I was speaking to you about that the other day, and I was telling you that everything starts in trenches. We either get an offensive lineman, an offensive tackle, or offensive guard, and a defensive tackle first. Then you said let everything else go and auto play after that. Remember that?
Yes, sir. I think I was with you too about the trenches. I gotta open this back up. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I was saying, man, that's the best pick we ever made, man.
The conference has been unlocked.
Go get John Michael Smith now. That's it. John Michael Smith, and I think it's over, man.
My bad, brother. One second. Apologies. All right, so you want John Michael Schmitz in the second round? I mean, he's one of the handful of dudes, bro. Handful of dudes that I would be happy with in round 2 on the offensive line. Now, see, I opened up the lines and everybody would come in here.
I don't want Steven Villa for us, man. To me, he's not a real true heart. He's not really for the Cowboys. If you listen to his interview, he doesn't really like us like that. He's not in his heart for us. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't want him as a draft for us. John Michael Smith fits perfectly. And be careful who you ask for on here, because Philly, they go for everybody that we want. They snatch them from us before we can even get them. They love watching what we want, and they try to take them before we get them. So be careful who we ask for on this air, because we got a bunch of Philly haters over here, and they would love to take who we want. So you know who we need still. And on that note, I just want to say thank you for everything, man. You guys create great content, man.
Thank you, man.
And I love to see the draft, man. Go Cowboys. Yes. Super Bowl, here we come.
My guy, appreciate you, man. Not a fan of Steve Avila. I must have missed something. Steve Avila must have said he ain't a Cowboy fan or something. My apologies, y'all. I'm trying to get Foots in here. Also got Brian coming in here. And I don't see him, so we'll keep it moving. Let's get back into these into the chat here. This is going to be nasty today. Let's go Mazi. Yes, sir. Kelvin says, I love the pick. And Mazi was a 30 visit, Sam. Indeed. Gallimore. So that's something we're going to talk about. I think next week we're going to focus on rating the draft. That's one of my favorite series that I do of all time is rating the draft. But eventually we're going to get back to reviewing all position groups, and we're going to focus on Gallimore again because I don't know if he's going to get cut, Demetrius, but his seat burning up. His seat is 100% burning up. So I don't got my guys in here, excuse me, but I do got Mel in the building. My West Coast brother, what's goody?
King,
what's happening?
Your reaction yesterday, bro. Hey, you had me lit because I was already like, oh, I was like gingerly clapping, like, I like this. This the right move. I seen you. Oh, hell yeah.
Yo, look, a little part of it was, thank God they didn't take a tight end, but then they took, how many times do they take a guy that you covet, you love, and it also fits what you need? It's rare that all those things happen. So it was really exciting for me, man. Because not only did they get a guy that I like, but they got a guy that made sense.
Man, to me, it also really kind of signaled a very, very the stronghold that Mike and Dan have over this team. It kind of signaled to me like, no, we're not going to do something fancy. We're not going to draft a guy from Notre Dame that can catch, or we're not going to go get this guy. No. And they put themselves in a position in the offseason where they could make this move, where they didn't have to go reach for a corner, or they didn't have to go try to get one of the, trade up and get a receiver. This is a very, very big need. And people that are looking at production in quotes, I'm putting that in quotation marks, how many sacks did Micah have at Penn State? I think the number is under 10. Like, he wasn't a sack guy at Penn State. Stop looking at the production of what this guy did in college. You putting him with Dan Quinn, who is arguably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL and arguably the best talent developer we've seen in a very, very long time, over dating back to his time in Seattle. Stop looking at the production. This guy is going to definitely help this defense immediately. Immediately, this defense is better than it was yesterday.
That is something to consider too. When me and Foots were on the board and we're talking about who's still there, and we're like, look, this was before all the receivers got taken. We're like, there's a potential chance here that you take an edge, you take a receiver, or you take a corner, and those guys aren't going to be able to immediately produce for you due to the room, right? Which you can live with if you start looking towards the future. But Mazi doesn't have that problem. Mazi is going to be a part of this rotation right now. There is no, he's going to sit behind Neville Gallimore. He's going to sit behind Carlos Watkins. No. You're going to have a Hankins, Osa, Mazi. That's going to be your core three rotation on the interior with Golston mixed in there. Maybe they draft another guy, Bohanna mixed in there and whatnot. But Mazi's going to play, and I think he's going to help.
Oh, he's going to help you right away. And he gives you something outside of Hankins that you just don't have. Another thing I love about this kid, bro, this is a good kid, bro. And not that that means anything on the football field, but it does. Because he ain't gonna be shooting out the car or in the car where they shooting, or he ain't gonna be. This is a civil rights kid. This is a kid that grew up in a great home.
Did you just call him a Black Panther, man?
He is though. He is.
Hey Mel, no, he's a good dude though.
This is a good dude, man. This is a good dude, man. I love this pick, man. I love the way this sounds so strange for me. It feels strange. I love the way this organization is going, which feels hella weird. But I love the way this is shaping out, man.
Yeah, they're hitting all the right buttons so far. Now, if they get the guard here in round 2, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might money dance for my guy Stephen Jones and them this offseason, because it is damn near a grand slam. It's a home run so far to me this offseason, but it's been a home run, man. Damn near a grand slam.
Yeah, the second round has been where we've been fumbling a little bit, so I'm a little nervous here. That we don't, take the risk guy, the guy that just blew out his ankle, and, I hope we don't get that guy. But other than that, man, it's been a home run. Thanks, bro, for letting me tap in with you, man. I was so excited after seeing your reaction, man. Had to tap in with you. Great job, Cowboys, man. Hey, everybody, this is a great, great pick. Don't be nervous. They did a great job.
My man. Appreciate you, Mel.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, man. The guy of the hour that I wanted to get up in here, man. Our guy, as y'all call him, Better Call Saul, Mr. Brian Pope of the Cochran Firm. What's good, B?
Hey, Will, how are you this morning?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Come on now.
I know, right? I mean, this is good times. So, did you think that Jerry was taking a little bit of time on his pick, thinking maybe he could get trade down a little bit and still get his guy?
So word on the street is that there was a legitimate debate on the prospect to pick, not to trade out the pick. They got the call to trade, but they declined to trade because one of the guys they wanted, Kansas City, was trying to come get. So I think they were legitimately debating on which of the players, whether it be Breezy or Smith, that they wanted to take, and potentially an offensive lineman too. I was told an interior offensive lineman.
Right. Well, most of the mocks that I saw, I didn't see Mazi going in the first, but that doesn't mean that he's not first round talent. And I do. I kind of like the pick. I know you do.
Oh, I'm elated for it. And the reason why I think I also reacted this way, I didn't mention this with Mel, is that he's a guy that I coveted, but he's a position that the Cowboys historically just don't take. So as much as I wanted him, I just kind of gave up on the thought process of them getting him because they don't draft defensive tackles in the first round. It's the first time, and you'll know this name, B, since 1991.
Russell Maryland, right?
Russell Maryland. That's just unbelievable. And I think it's because of Dan Quinn.
That was my initial thought, yeah.
Yeah.
And Russell Maryland was a surprise too, back way back in the day.
Yeah, Jerry brought it up. Jerry said he got ridiculed for taking Russell. I was believe it or not, Cowboys Nation. I was too young to understand all of that.
Those were back in the days where we dreamed of actually going to the Super Bowl.
I'm hoping this pick helps us get closer to that.
Well, I think you're right. I think it is an immediate impact player. He goes right into the rotation, and I think that's what you don't want to get a player that you're grooming for in the next couple of years. You want somebody. The window is open. It's now. We got to move.
Yeah, and that's the thing I struggled with. With the prospects on the board, because ideally my thought process is if I'm picking you in the first round, I would like you to contribute this year in some shape or form, right? And a lot of the top names that were still there, the Porters, the Murphys, and some of the receivers at one point, it was like, these are great players, are really good players, but I don't think they'll be able to be on the field as much. I don't think you have that problem with Mazi. And a question I want to ask you: Do you think this is Dan Quinn or McCarthy that is kind of changing the way the Cowboys have been moving, man? They're paying safeties. They're drafting defensive tackles in the first round. They're taking one techs. Like McCarthy is come here and they're moving a little bit different now.
I think they know that Super Bowls are won on good defenses and historically, and they're putting together a squad. And McCarthy was joking that now that he's calling the plays that he was going to be going offense in the first round. But I think he's got to be happy with the pick. And there's a lot of talent available down the board for the next couple rounds and beyond. So we'll get our offense.
That's how I feel. I feel the same way. I just read off a whole bunch of offensive linemen's names, and there's a bunch there, man. But who in round two are you targeting, or what position group in round two are you targeting?
Well, I mean, I think you have to look at offense, and I looked at a couple mocks this morning before calling in, and there's a thought that some of the tight ends that they coveted in the first round might even slip down as far as our pick.
Yeah, Jerry kind of.
So,
did you see Jerry yesterday when they tried to press him on that? Like, hey, was there a tight end you were thinking about? Jerry said, well, that's tactical information. I can't really talk about that given what's still going on tomorrow. And last year, I got in trouble for showing y'all the draft board. He kind of cracked a little joke, but yeah, I think tight end is now we're in day two. I think it truly is in play here on day two, and they didn't want to give away their thought process at the position.
Right, like if a Laporta or Musgrave or even, I don't think Meyer will slip that far, but those guys are definitely, going to be looked at.
I hope not in round 2. I don't want any round 2.
What's that?
I don't want to take any of those guys in round 2.
Yeah. You wouldn't take Meyer at round 2 if he was available?
I mean, he'd probably be the best player on their board, but
yeah,
I still would try to target offensive line, man. I know that sounds like, well, Sky, you reaching for need or whatever. Well, who's on the board? Let's see who's there, because there's some offensive line I would rather have.
Yeah, I guess maybe their mentality would be best available on the board offense. That's
Fair.
how they would approach.
That's
that
a good
pick.
point. Yeah.
And then if you're a good McClay's gonna work on trying to stock the cupboard with lower draft picks in the lower rounds. So we got it. I love how you said somebody called in and said the draft is over or whatever. You're like, the draft's not over. It's barely started.
It's barely started. This is, I mean, most people, and shout out to Danny, he says this as well. Most people will say, this is actually where the draft begins. Day 2 and 3.
Right.
This is where usually day 3 is a scout's days or whatever, because now you're getting deep into the weeds, right? But even day 2, because you have to make sure you're not picking the false man fats of the world, because you're ignoring the red fat. Because Jerry said it. Yeah, round 2 is our risky round. Stop with that. Let's end the riskiness in round 2. Just stay solid. Just stay true. You do what makes sense for the Cowboys, and I think they can come away in this second day as a winner.
Well, in the past, sometimes we've traded up or traded down and sacrificed some of the second day picks. I think it's great that we have 2 picks today, and Super Bowls aren't necessarily won in the first round. They're won in the trenches in the next couple rounds. We're going to get some players who hopefully will have an immediate impact this year.
Indeed, man. And I know over there's 2 players I trust in, man. That's Brian, that's Larry at the Cochran firm. Let them know if they need to reach out for any type of legal help, how they can do that, B.
You guys give us a call at 1-800-THE-FIRM. It's CochranTexas.com. We're here for your legal needs. We represent people who get in car accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents, drunk driving accidents, workplace injuries. We're representing people who sometimes get a foul of the law and need some help. So we're down here in the Design District in Dallas. We've been here since 2005. Larry and I are continuing the legacy of Johnny Cochran, and we just, like I said, every time I talk to you, Will, I just love the fact we have this partnership together with the morning show and A to Z, and get the good word out for the Cochran firm. If you're in need of a lawyer, give us a call and we'll take care of you. Because as you know, Will, Cochran cares.
Indeed, man. I appreciate the partnership as well, and Cochran definitely cares. Enjoy your day, B, and celebrate this fantastic pick, man.
Absolutely. All right. Take care.
Salute. Good stuff from our guy B. Man, I'm still riding that high. We're gonna bring in our guy Foots, who did the draft with me last night. We'll be on again tonight, breaking down everything. But let me get into this chat and see what y'all are saying here in a quick second. Kelvin Hicks says we're gonna go stupid in this round. I hope so. Rolo says I didn't think Sky would be on this morning. Well, here I am on like 4 hours of sleep, but that's enough. That's more than enough. We good to go. Brian, KZ wanted Mazi. For some reason, we did. Weakness of the defense, we addressed it. Damn good pick. Facts. Thomas says the draft starts in 8 hours from now. What we saw last night was just a prelude. Yep. I agree. All right, let's talk to our guy Foots, man. Foots did a video last night. If y'all missed it, breaking down Mazi as well. If you missed our reaction, you can go back and look at that. But good morning, my good brother. How you feeling after a day of thinking about this Mazi pick? Well, not a day, but a morning.
Oh man, I feel great about this guy. First of all, shout out to you, one of the hardest workers doing it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. Like to be on and we went hard last night, and I jumped on off and
We did.
some content there. Yeah, we went hard, and people are coming around, which I kind of knew that because it wasn't a name that was tied early on. I knew you would get some of that mixed bag. Tight end stuff fluffed people, right? It had people thinking like this was going to be the pick, and you had so many quote unquote credited sources saying tight end, tight end, tight end. Well, what does Dallas do? They do the smart thing. This feels a lot like when they traded away. Well, not traded away from. It feels like when they drafted Zach Martin over Johnny Manziel. It feels like, hey, we're not going to get cute. We're not going to overthink this thing. We had an issue last year stopping the run, a real issue.
Yeah.
Had to use different schemes, safeties, all this type of stuff to stop the run. You had to, we're talking about getting D tackle and free agency during the year, all this type of stuff. You don't want to deal with that. Get a guy in here. You listen to his you listen to his press conference, he said it. I'm not going to be a guy that's getting pushed around. That's what you need.
Thanks.
Like, that's why you drafted him, because he understands the assignment. So I'm extremely excited. Extremely.
We talked about this yesterday after the pick. I think about the game against Philly, the first one, where we didn't have Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys needed to get a stop, Foots. And Philly just said, we're going to run the ball 12 straight times. And they weren't busting off 15-yarders and 20-yarders and 30-yarders. It was 3, 2, 5, first down, 2, 1, 4, first down. Like it was just running right down your throat because you had nobody to help with that. Mazi Smith is going to be able to do that with that upside to be able to get in the backfield under Dan Quinn in his scheme. And, I think we might even had this conversation on there. I know I did with the chat. I think that these type of defensive tackles that can be athletic like this but strong against the run and has upside as pass, I feel like these guys need to get more love for how valuable they are. Because when you look around the league, they're scarce, but there's a good amount of them to where when you look at the impact that they make for their defense, you can't just ignore it if that type of dude is sitting at you or staring at you in the first round or two.
Well, how about this, guy? I don't think enough people are talking about that marriage. Like some defensive coordinators. Dan Quinn and Will McClay in lockstep.
Yeah.
Will McClay said something yesterday. I'm like, this dude is high level. I was going to tweet it out, and I think I might tweet it out today. He said something about Mazi's stance, and I've noticed it too.
I played it this morning, bro.
He didn't have his stance looked kind of weird, like almost like he was designed to catch in that scheme.
He was.
And not play forward.
So let me read because Jonathan Owning said it as well. Smith's delayed get off as a reason to deflate his draft stock, but people ignore the fact that he was playing a read and react role as a head up defender majority of his snaps. Instead of firing out of the ball, penetrating his gap as a shaded defender, he was tasked with mirroring and controlling blocks to help Michigan fill the gaps with light boxes. Exactly what basically Will McClay was saying without the whole X's and O's, and you had it right. He was asked to basically catch dudes, stack, shed, and then react and go get the guy, not fire off and push him back unless, he was asked to do that. And when he was, you see the highlights. You see him just mauling dudes.
Yeah, man, when I'm not going to lie to you, when I looked at that, I'm like, okay, is he catching? But he's not catching. He's literally two-gapping, making sure that he's holding up those blockers, double teams. He deals with double teams so well. In this scheme, with these athletes, we got to remember who he's going to be married with. He'll have Jonathan Hankins with him, okay? He'll have Osa on certain downs. I posed a question yesterday, do you move on from Neville? I don't know what that looks like. But I'll say this. With Dan Quinn, this is a knocking out the park pick. It is. And I people pull up old tweets, well, Foots, you said that you didn't want to go D-tackle. I didn't. I wanted to see who was on the board. But you got wiped out and you didn't panic. The truth of the matter is Kansas City was trying to come up to get your pick.
If Kansas City makes that pick, everybody's doing a backflip today, right? Kansas City is a great drafting team, which they are. But if Kansas City comes up and gets that pick, they comes up and get the player, then everybody's saying, so why can't we say the same thing with Dallas? To me, Mazi makes a ton of sense because it's not going to show up on a stat sheet. But it doesn't matter.
So he ain't going to show up on the stat sheet in Michigan. I just have this suspicion, man. I feel like in Dallas, he will. I just think he will.
You're really high on the pass rush ability.
Not even just that. So as we just talked about his stance, Vosh just dropped there. He's talking about square base, not having staggered feet. You're a runner, right? Any of these track stars, I'm a runner, I'm a track star. Any of these runners, you try getting off in your stance and you're squared instead of your feet being staggered.
You're squatting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And watch how the difference in your get off is going to be. Mazi, I don't think is going to be squared most of his time here. I think he's going to have that staggerness that Voch was talking about, meaning now he can fire out. And we're talking about a dude who is ridiculously athletic. There was a college evaluator from 2021 or 2022 who listed Mazi as the freakiest athlete in college football because he plays at 330, 335, and he can do the things he can do. Go watch the videos of him box jumping and lifting and his splits. And the dude is freakishly athletic, but Michigan didn't allow that to be on display.
He was Bruce Feldman. He was on the top of Bruce Feldman's freak list. Yeah.
Feldman. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, college guy. Yeah. So and Scott, this is why we do what we do, because again, we were prepared, but we also said, so we hit a lot yesterday, Scott. I'm gonna say this: we hit on a few things. We hit on Dallas would be fools to draft a tight end, while everybody in the world said they were going tight end. It was booked, and they had all their names that they wanted. We said that Dallas would be idiots. So we're really becoming in lockstep with this organization. I'll say something else. We hit on Gibbs yesterday. We hit on kind of the vibe about this receiver class not being created the same way as everybody else. I'll say this, and I'm going to leave it here. Scott, I know you got callers, and I know we'll be jumping on later today. Is it too early to think about Voorhees if Avia and those guys go? And I'm going to say this why. If you can get Voorhees, and I know we don't want to put him on the shelf, but if you can get that guard, like there's no way I love what you said. I'm not taking the tight end. I'm just not taking the tight end.
I'm still not taking. Yeah, I'm still not.
I'm still not taking the tight end. I'm not taking the tight end, Sky. So if we can get a guard, one of your higher graded guard, or if you're looking at Smith is kicking him to guard early on and maybe move back to center, whatever, then I would be. Anything else, I don't even care, because you got your trenches are locked.
That's where I'm looking.
Trenches are locked, Scott. If you do that,
I'm looking to go in the trenches, man. I'm with you.
Yeah. If you can get your guard, Scott, maybe you gotta over conversation with Zavala because you don't think he'll be there in the third. But I think this is the round where you may have to go Voorhees, only because he's that good. Yeah, I believe that.
Now,
I believe that.
Shoot,
Remember, we talked about it.
Yeah, I thought I was jumping round 3. Round 2 would definitely be. Now you have to be wiped out, right?
You would have to be wiped out because I think Avia's going to go. Like those guys that we like are going to go in these picks. Right?
So all right, let's hold tight to this because we're going to be on later today,
and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it because there's a bunch of names. I might even come on for the beginning of the second round as opposed to jumping in the middle. But I want to save this for later because there's a bunch of names to talk about: tackles and guards that could play tackles that can play guard, and guards that play guard, and centers that could play guard. So I think Dallas is sitting pretty. But I want to save this content for later, brother.
All right, man. Hey, I'll jump on. We'll be on tonight. Listen, I don't know why anybody would watch this draft anywhere else but with us. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, and Voch. Make sure y'all check out Voch, too. And all the fantastic content creators that are out there. But definitely want to plug into all of us, man.
Have a good morning, Sky. It's Christmas, baby.
All right, brother. Peace. My man, Fush the King. We'll be back on breaking everything down. I got you, Voch. We might just run it back like we did yesterday. Honestly, let's all jump into the chat. We'll get into our chat afterwards. So I didn't bring this up on when Foots was on here, but yesterday he talked about how the Cowboys passing on, and I want to ask y'all this question: the Cowboys passing on the tight ends. Does that show validation for Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot? They had all their guys sitting there. Michael Mayer, Darnell Washington, and they passed on them for a defensive tackle who they have never taken a defensive tackle in the last 20 years, 25 years, damn near, 30 years, really, since 1991. Does that validate Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot? I think it does. Now, we could be living in some weird world where maybe Michael Mayer is still there at 58. But if I'm not mistaken, Trey McBride was still there mid-rounds in the second round, I think, last year. So is this a validation for these guys? I think it is. And do you believe Dallas should take a tight end in round 2? I believe they should. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. Our tight ends are ready to roll, Sky. I agree. TC said abso-freaking-lutely. Ban says, not necessarily. I'll tell you this. If they don't take a tight end in round 2, I think that got to turn to a yeah, man. That got to turn into a this is validation. Let me see here. Day 3 tight end. What's good, Nick? So the second question, would you take a tight end in round 2? Let me ask that question. Would you take a tight end in round 2? I'm not taking no damn tight end, man. I know. No, not doing it. Y'all know how I feel about Jake. Iceberg Q trying to wish Zeke back. Keystone said, hell no. Keystone, you on the horn. Let's rap, Keystone. What's good, man?
Hello?
Yeah, it was good, Keystone. How you feeling about the draft so far?
Everything's good. Can you hear me good?
I got you loud and clear, brother.
All right. Yeah, so far, I definitely like the Mazi pick right now. As much as we've been talking about interior for the longest, knowing that we still had cracks in the pavement when it came to interior, that was a big move for us. That was the first time since 91, Russell Maryland, that we went first round on the DT. That tells you right there that our culture is changing.
Yes.
Our mindset is focused on we really do want to win. We ain't really falling for all that nonsense in the later rounds and all that mess. With all due respect, look at Bohanna right now. But he still got a chance to go out there and show that he can be the future of us. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an example.
Sure.
But I definitely love his technique, what Mazi brings to the table. I love his technique, love his attitude, and the way he just can maul a cat one-on-one. If you lay as a guard and you one-on-one with him, he's going to cook you. He's going to move you. You're not moving him backward. He's moving you. And that right there is what's going to allow them quarterbacks start feeling a little bit uncomfortable. They're going to roll out that pocket, and that's when other defenders can go in and make hits. That's why I like the move. We got back to the trenches, D-line. Now, second round, let's do the same thing with the O-line.
Yeah.
Now, we can sit here and talk this tight end mess all we want to, but if that's not protected, that tight end in the second round's not getting the ball. Period.
Yeah.
So we got to get back to the trenches. On the O-line.
I'm with you. And so Stephen Jones came out yesterday and said, hey, the depth that we have also helps. And that's he's indirectly talking about tight ends because they kind of brought that up about, weapons and whatnot. And he's like, look, I'm not naive. Knowing who we have plays a factor in this. We are not pressed to take one in round 1 because we got guys we believe in. Period. That's just how that works. Now, if you go into round 3 or 4 and take one, I can live with that more. Although I would rather wait to round 3. But I'm focused on the trenches right there with you, bro. Trenches, running back, maybe not round 2, but running back, maybe round 3. Linebacker. I mean, I'd rather take all these other positions before I take the tight end.
Yeah. Ain't no telling. I mean, if it comes to round 3, shoot, I could look at a corner too. A corner is someone that could be spoken to within an area, because of the fact that we got a 1-year rental on Gilmore. But hey,
Joey
that's
Porter,
just an observation. That's
Steve,
something that could be looked at too.
Yeah, here's some of the top names left at the cornerback position: Porter, Stevenson, Juju Brents, Some people are down on Ringo. DJ Turner, Cam Smith, Darius Rush, Corey Trice could be
Trice.
Yeah, could be a late day 2, day 3 guy. Garrett Williams, hurt guy, but yeah, there's a lot of corners left on the board too.
Yeah, most definitely. But we don't know what they're thinking, and I kind of like that move, especially when you seeing how Steven ain't sweating what's going on with the place, because Mike McCarthy made it clear that he wasn't sweating the picks, but the Eagles did. He said, we're going to have our likes in the guys and all like that. But he said he ain't sweating it. That's boss talk right there. I was loving that comment when he said that.
Yeah, somebody asked him a question about Philly, and he like, man, I'm not really worried about what they doing over here. We got to, there's good players. He said everybody going to draft good players. I feel him. Philly went to the Super Bowl last year, but when you play Philly, you went toe-to-toe with Philly, So
exactly, both games.
Yeah, you went toe-to-toe with
them.
One
was a backup.
You beat that defense. You put up 30, 40 points on that defense. But people shaking their knees. Look, I hate the fact that they got Jalen Carter more than the Nolan Smith thing, because that's the best player in the draft in the rich get richer type situation. But I don't mean we scared of these dudes. What are you talking about here, man? Come on.
Exactly. And for the Eagles making that move, that was the right move. I can't hate on them for making a trench move. Knowing they just let Hargrave go, that was their replacement right there.
Yeah, good
got
for
to
them.
Respect that.
Good for them. Respect that, and that's where it ends.
Good. And I think that also sent a message to us as well, too. Like, we better go ahead and get that DT, especially when Mazi's sitting there. You better stop playing. And we did that, and I love that.
Indeed. Hey, Keystone, I'm gonna keep it moving. I gotta get to maybe one more caller here, and we're gonna get up out of here. I'll see y'all later today. But
it's understandable.
Yeah. Appreciate you calling in, Keystone.
717, let's go.
Yes, sir. Star City. Woo! I knew y'all was gonna be calling in. I locked the phones, but I had to unlock them because I had some obligations we had to get to. But let me get back to this chat real quick. Exactly, Bruce. Come on, man. Look. Where you at, bro?
I ain't scared of you, mother.
Nah. Good for them. They probably going to be a problem for a lot of other teams. But the Cowboys, they know how to play Philly. At this point, Dallas would never get that close to Porter again. He's going the first 5 to 10 picks a day. Probably going to go. Is it Steelers at the top? Pittsburgh did just sign. They did just sign the other Peterson. But yeah, Porter probably ain't gonna fall that low. I don't see that happening. All right, man. It's only right that my guy Toxic changed his name to All In, that we hear from Toxic Tom and why he's all in again.
Good morning, Sky. And the fact that you said that you were too young to remember the Cowboys drafting a defensive tackle in the first round. Let's fucking go. Hell yes. God, we have been needing this position since we invaded Iraq. Holy shit, come on. Oh, I was watching that, and my wife was in the other room, and I'm in Colorado right now, and I swear the moose heard me scream because I was so pumped. And for all those fans that didn't like this pick, I get it. This is uncharted territory for a lot of you younger fans because you've never seen real good defensive tackle play in the Cowboys that wasn't named Nick Hayden or some other bargain bin bullshit that we find, or Dontari Poe ate himself out of the league. Like McCarthy came in here that first playoff game and we lost to the San Francisco 49ers. And what did he say? We need to be more physical. Everybody, this is that dude. This man, I've seen this guy, and I'm Penn State alumni. I've seen this guy destroy my offensive line. This is the type of guy, and he's not a Taco Charlton. He's huge, and he is quick. And I've seen videos of this guy even before the draft of him. What they call him, the gorilla. And the fact that he's able to be as nimble as he is for that size, sign me up. And for all the fans that are upset about, you all are seeing content creators and everyone, Mel Kipers, you're seeing their board. And those guys build their boards by talking to other general managers. There's a reason why that, as they say, the professor is teaching and isn't doing their trade anymore. There's a reason why Mel Kiper's not a general manager. It's because he isn't in there in depth like these guys are. And the fact that after that press conference, Jerry Jones and that staff kept their mouth shut and were like, yeah, we learned our lesson last year. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I absolutely love this pick. We have needed this, my God, for decades.
You were talking about his size. I think that's something that goes underrated with him because he carries three guys. He played damn near at 340.
Yeah.
He played damn near at 340, and he moves the way you're seeing him move. And now he lost weight for the combine to obviously get his testing numbers better. But I think he's going to play closer to 330 than he'll be 323. That's for damn sure. But yeah, man, he's a big dude with freakish athleticism. And I remember last month, Tom, if you can recall, when I looked up the mock draft database, and a lot of people were saying, well, Mazi Smith, 58, Mazi Smith round 2. I'm like, hey guys, over the last few weeks, he's been getting mocked in the first round, at the end of the first round. So to me, I never viewed it as this big reach that many would view it as, especially given that I think he can be one of them, what did McClay call it? A dominant force or something along the lines. And if you can get a dominant force on the interior, he is definitely worth a late first round pick.
And if you look at the positional value, and I remember saying this in the past to a few people, and I don't like pulling receipts because I'm wrong about tons of things, and I've always said eating crow is still a meal. I look at Mazi Smith and I go, if you didn't take him, I don't see him lasting to 58 today. And also, who is the next best defensive tackle prospect that also, and this is why they took him, has the potential to have pass rushing capabilities? And I look at the board and I don't really see somebody that could be as impactful as this. And another point, and you're from Pennsylvania, the Big Ten rivalry is huge. And the fact that Micah Parsons is saying, I want this dude. Micah's seen Mazi Smith play. And the fact that he wants him and knows the value that he brings to this team, and that Dan Quinn put his big nuts on Jerry Jones' desk and said, give me this player. And Jerry said, okay. Wow. Oh, God, finally. Freaking finally. And I am so tired of seeing gumball C.J. Andersons and the Todd Gurleys and just getting gashed, and not just for a lot of yards in the playoffs, but meaningful yards in the playoffs when we need that stop. Is our defensive tackle play good enough? And for the last 20-something years since Leroy Glover, other than an undersized Jason Hatcher or Jay Ratliff, it's been no. So the fact that they're addressing this and they're realizing that they made the mistake, hell yeah, all in. Push those damn chips in. No more toxic this year. This is different. This year is different because I have not seen this since, wow, I was in diapers.
Wait, let's
so
mark this
Cowboy
down.
fans,
April 28th.
And yes, and last but not least,
go ahead.
I want to thank Boston Scientific for this. My wife now loves me even more because my 3-inch hammer can get the job done, and now we can stop the run with that 3-inch hammer. Have a good day.
Oh, you gotta love Toxic. I was gonna say, man, mark this down. 10:07, April 28th, 2023. Toxic Tom. Not only is he all in, he said it's different. But shout out to Boston Scientific, man. Look, if you're having a hard time getting excited about this, maybe might be, 39 million men. No, I'm just messing with you, man. Look, if you are one of the 39 million men suffering from ED, we got a solution for you, man. edcure.org. ED can affect your self-esteem, impact your most important relationships. And if you've tried other things and you can't find a solution, boom, we got something for you. Take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad in the description to learn more about it. There is a permanent satisfying solution to treat ED. So visit edcure.org. Get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatments when other options don't work. That's edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific. It ain't hard, but you can be.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
in front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
There are probably a bunch of new people in here like, what just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Tom, who is now All In Tom, who might be more controversial than Toxic Tom. Don't be scared, man. We have fun over here. Unfortunately, y'all, I just cannot get to all 50 of these calls this morning. Thinking about opening up the lines, though, later. I wrap to foots and see if we can find a way to get those two things integrated. I might open up the lines later, though, during the draft so we can all rap, but impossible for me to get to everybody here today. I apologize. I know I don't like to hear that, but we're on a bit of a time constraint here as we get prepared for later. Knock out some more work, kind of get some rest done, and get ready for another long day 2. All right, Toxic, don't scare everybody away, man. Don't scare everybody away. With that said, let me go over here and get to the last bit of any of the super chats I might have missed. And then y'all can go and watch more film on Mazi Smith. There's 2 pieces of film you definitely can watch that'll make you smarter. Vosh Lombardi just dropped one over on the Volume, and I believe over Vosh Lombardi Live or Vosh Lombardi channel. Go watch his breakdown. And Okoye dropped one about a month or so ago. Go watch his. If you're a skeptic about the pick, if you're not sure, you want to learn more, if you want to see where some of the positives come from, maybe where he can get better at, watch those breakdowns. I promise you.
Super chat.
Ivan dropped one, said, Will, I see a lot of talent on day 2. Do we trade picks next year to shore up this team? Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ivan. Earlier, I was going to say, I think it was with B, the last time they traded up in round 2, DeMarcus Lawrence. In a way, I think Dallas is in position to where if they wanted to go, hey, we see an offensive lineman that we love here, I think they're in position to trade up and do it. That's the only other look. Defensive tackle to me was one of those positions that was behind offensive guard. Offensive guard was a blinking red light. DT might not have been blinking because you can line up and play, but it was 100% a need. Linebacker, another position I think is a need. So if you can just go up and get your guy that's blinking, you're ready to go. So if that means you got to trade a pick, I think you can live with that this year. I wouldn't trade next year's pick, but maybe a 4th or 6th round pick if you can get up and get your guy.
Super chat.
IT, he says, remember last 3 years, no one wanted Micah, Tyler, now Mazi. Household names coming soon. I'm so happy. Round 2, here we come. Now O-line, DB, it's Christmas. Yeah, look, we've said this, right? I try to prepare everybody. Well, look, some fans are going to hate this pick. That's just the way it goes. Probably goes the same way for every other franchise. But I know in Dallas, I can 100% guarantee you that the nation would not be all on one side of the pick. And that's just fans, right? So this doesn't shock me. My job that I wanted to do was, no matter who the pick is, whether it was a tight end, whether it was a defensive tackle, and whatever, how does it make sense? Can we make it make sense? And let's talk it through. Look at the pros, look at the cons. He dropped another one.
Super chat.
Said, we are Penn State, but damn, this guy will be a monster. Patented now. Mazi, they call him the Juggernaut. Smith. Somebody said he looked like T Grizzly. That's not the one. But they say he looked like T Grizzly, and I lost it, man. DJ.
Super chat.
He dropped one and said it wouldn't be against them going defense again if it's linebacker today, but they have to address interior line. If they are the first to take an interior lineman, good. Yeah, I'm still standing on this. I need an interior O lineman in the first 3 rounds, please. So if it's not round 2 and they decide to go linebacker, cool. Please get me a guy in round 3. Please, please, please get me a guy in round 3. Rolo dropped the dub.
Super chat.
Appreciate you, Rolo. He said, grab a caffeinated beverage. I don't got it in front of me now. Of your choice on me. You earned it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Rolo. I will definitely have my caffeinated beverage later on tonight for the show. Hall of Fame Cowboy fan. He dropped one.
Super chat.
He said, second round, Dallas Cowboys select Oh, Kendre Miller. Speaking it into existence. I don't necessarily want to go running back here in round 2. Still a whole lot of good ones left. No, I don't know about that one. I don't know about Kendre in round 2. And then Black Lion. Actually, a couple more.
Super chat.
Black Lion drop one. Appreciate you. He said, good morning, bro. I watched more film of Mazi. He has violent hands, great power, a good base, good athleticism. He gave Ohio State all that he could handle. He will help others eat and make our D-line elite. Facts.
Super chat.
Glenn Capers dropped one, said, I know this isn't popular while playing Madden, but stoutness is a thing, especially in today's RPO-heavy NFL. Yesterday, BPA met a position of need. BPA, position of need. Facts. Agree with you, Glenn. Sully dropped one and said 518 didn't do the dishes before he got on the phone. Oh, the dude who was, appreciate you, Sully. He almost got banged, though. And that is it over here on the tube.
Super chat.
I'm looking in the restream. Grande just dropped one. T Grizzly album is named Tales of the Trenches. Did you see that, Grande? They call my man T Grizzly. I can't unsee it now.
Super chat.
My guy Shaq said Addison this year, Caleb next year, best offense. Oh yeah, Shaq. Look, I know you Viking fans. Salute to y'all getting Addison. If you go look at our review of that pick, I loved it. I think that was a good pick for y'all. Y'all could have went all types of different directions, but you did lose Adam Thielen. We do like Kevin O'Connell, the play caller, and now you got Addison and Justin Jefferson for the future, man. Gotta love it for y'all. And I think that is it. That is. It looked like somebody said, Professor Roach, Professor, you gotta hit me up. Let me know when you're coming through, so I know you in here, man. I can get you in. But later on tonight, I might open these phone lines so we can wrap some more. If not, it'd be Monday. Nonetheless, come on back through. Day 2 of the NFL draft. Me and Foots will be covering it. I'll probably start over on Voches again and come back over here, but we'll see. I'll let y'all know. I'll update y'all. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow all Cowboys, everything for A to Z Sports on AtoZSportsDallas.com. Check out the articles that we're already writing on the website. And let's boogie for tonight. J Cube just dropped one. He said, love the pick, Sky. Where is your live reaction video? So I'll clip my live reaction. I'll throw it on Twitter, man. Come through on Twitter. I'll drop it. I was ecstatic, man. It was very similar to the Micah Parsons reaction. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace.